Good evening, everyone. I just sent some links out, so good evening, everyone. I just sent some links out, so give it a second before I get started. Now tonight's going to be pretty much all open discussions. We're going to discuss the dangers at our community's doorstep. You guys feel free to ask questions, state your opinions in chat. If anyone would like to join me, just let me know. You can join me on Hangouts. I think we all got something everyone has something they would like to share and say. I'm giving you guys a place to do it. Actually, let me check. I might be able to see if my Uber calls will work. I might be able to set up an open phone line. And it's not working. I swear that thing never works. Try reinstalling it. Nope. But I think we all know what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Like I said, I did a video early this morning on Facebook, which is actually the first time I've ever streamed from Facebook. Mainly because this thing's hit close to home with what happened in the UK yesterday evening. My cousin's daughter was there right where stuff took place and went down. It's not that I haven't been speaking about these subjects. It was just a bigger slap in the face, I guess. Reality check that there's more issues. This issue cannot be considered the norm, as they keep telling us. Every life is precious, no matter whose it is. And this is the third attack in, say, in 72 days. What, the second attack in less than 2 or 3 weeks? This cannot be the norm. But yet they want to spin it and say that this is the norm, like it's our fault. You know, my issue was, I've been friends with people, supported some of their causes, been supportive of equal rights, a big supporter of the Constitution. You know, but on the same token, what many don't know is I also carry dual citizenship. And I've had the privilege of being abroad when I was growing up, living between the United States and Brazil. With social media sites such as Twitter and Facebook, I've been able to reconnect with people, my cousins and stuff that I haven't seen or talked to in a while. I was talking to one of my friends last night. I didn't even know, you know, sometimes I forget that, my family in Brazil travels a lot. They just don't live in Brazil, but they live in France, UK, and a few other areas. I just had a click on Facebook and I see my aunt had posted something, and I clicked to translate to read it real quick and found out. And yet I hear people, news media and stuff saying this is the norm. This isn't the norm. And this ain't the only topic I'm going to discuss tonight, guys. I'm going to talk about a few things. But the past few weeks, I've been letting a few things slide. I believe everybody has the right to express their opinions, their views, and beliefs. But at some point, has to be enough. We have to take a stand. We need to stand up against any form of hate that teaches an ideology of hate. But we also need to understand that there are many that do not practice that ideology, that believe in a peaceful, that believe in what our Constitution here in the United States says. And that's something many of you probably don't know about me. I've stated in a few videos, but maybe some of you guys is the first time. I come from two proud heritages, my mom's side and my dad's side. My mom's side, they've been fighting corruption in Brazil since I can remember. My aunt in politics, trying to keep the corruption out, bringing stuff to the news, fighting for their liberties and rights. My dad's side of the family, the reason a lot of the things we find in the Constitution today is because of our forefather, who led the first and second Congressional Congress, who's also part of the Congressional Stamp Act. They fought hard and bled so we could have these rights and liberties. So sometimes I keep quiet about things I see posted, they piss me off. But they have that right. But the one thing we do not have a right in any country is to interfere with national security that protects us. Here in the United States, we are blessed to have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Even though they try to take those rights away, but as I've stated on some Twitter posts and comment on Twitter, what we do not have, no federal court has a right to say a travel ban on 7 countries that are known to support terrorism, harbor terrorists, is unconstitutional. And a lot of this is because people are just a bunch of crybabies because the person they wanted elected didn't get elected. That's just the bottom line. Like I said, our action speaks louder than words. We shouldn't be judging people based on their religious beliefs and practices, especially here in the United States. We should be, if we're going to judge somebody, judge them by their deeds and actions, how they treat others. Why do we become friends with this person or these groups of people? I mean, many of these people, it's because of websites I've built, worked on, admin, writer of a magazine, and various other things that most people don't know about. So I was the one working behind the scenes platforms. These very same people that I know were supporters, activists of LGBT, feminist movements. Just a second. I just heard something beep. Somebody's messaging me. See? Yep. I'm not sure what that was. They want to support, they want to protest and be against an anti-travel ban. The same ban that's been in place, truthfully, since 9/11. Same ban that Obama had passed. You're being a bit hypocritical. In fact, you're part of the problem now because you're trying to support an ideology of hate. Because you could not go being a homosexual, transgender, feminist to any of these countries that are on this ban and be open about who you are. That is fact. For those that want to believe everything they hear on CNN, well, CNN just got caught today faking a prayer vigil. Research it yourself, guys. I'm not doing work for you no more. It's time that you guys step up. If you claim to be supporters of these things, do not support these refugees coming into your countries. You should be against it because they oppress, kill. You have no right to believe in any other religion, but theirs is not a religion. That's something that people are misconstruing. Sharia law is not a religion. It is a philosophy, ideology, political. How many of you actually know that right now in San Diego, Sharia law is being taught in a school? Your taxpayer dollars to that school is going to an organization called CARE, Care has been labeled by our government as openly funding terrorist organizations. But yet I don't hear many of the so-called citizen journalists out there even discussing this topic. They are now suing the school and school board for violation of the Constitution for supporting terrorism, an ideology of terrorism. Many of you don't even know that there's sleeper cells within our own country right now. You know, will border walls fix the problems? No, they'll just find a way to go under it, around it, or over it. But it will add an extra measure of safety, of protection. There's always been a legal way to become a citizen of the United States. My mom did the process. The process needs change, needs fixed. I agree there. We need to start holding these so-called government official politicians accountable. One of the trending things yesterday, on top of at London Bridge, was the mayor saying Donald Trump was the problem. No, you guys are the problem. You let the refugees in. Statistics are staggering at how many of them refugees are suspected terrorists. Then the number even gets more staggering at how many of them are being investigated. But yet they still want to allow them to come in. They want you to believe that this is the norm and tell you to get used to it. It is not the norm, and no, you should not get used to it. You should unite and stand up. And especially in the UK, you should demand that your police be armed and carry at all times. Right? The day of the Billy Club doesn't exist anymore. Then you should be asking yourself this. And I have a few friends in the UK. It is impossible to get permits to get a hunting gun. The hoops and political bullshit that you got to go through just to be able to hunt. You should have the right to protect your families. You know, many of the states here in the United States have adopted forms of it's called the Castle Law. Castle Law doesn't just apply to your property and your house, but it also applies to it in your car or in a restaurant. Many people don't support guns, but let's be truthful. If somebody had a gun in any of these aspects, especially what happened in London last night, how many lives could have been saved? Our community's doorstep right now is that we're not standing up. We're too busy blaming everyone else or everything else but the root cause. We're not holding our politicians accountable. You know, and it's getting sickening. We're supposed to be living in a free country, in a free world. They're like, this is the norm. You're blaming. The only thing I see, it's not safe to go to UK. Police aren't armed. 3, terrorist events in 72 days, or 75 days, whatever the number is, 70-something. I wouldn't go there for vacation. Hell no. Same group of people, trying to take over, just taking over a town in the Philippines. When is enough enough? When are you going to stop feuding amongst yourselves, casting blame amongst yourselves? Because let me tell you something. Some of the things that's going on is meant to distract you. That's just cold, hard facts. But most of you won't take the time to research who's funding some of these organizations like Black Lives Matter, Antifa. My thing about Antifa, and I could care less about Bilderberg. That's just smoke and mirrors. But based off what Antifa is supposed to stand for, you didn't see a single Antifa member protesting Bilderberg. Bilderberg is exactly what they claim to be against. But they wanted to protest in Portland today, cause violence, cause riots, the same shit they've been doing that these states keep allowing to happen. You know, they don't come to states where there's open carry laws. But that's coming. But most of you don't know that. They're pushing to get weapons training to people. They're pushing to get more self-defense courses, bringing people up. Antifa should be labeled as another form of terrorism. A freedom of speech rally today. They started pushing cops, throwing bricks. There's videos, pictures of them setting up on top of roofs with bags of bricks, bottles. The same groups that went and burned shit in what, Stanford? Well, it was the state of California. That rioted in California, beat up people. Division is a problem in this country, in almost every country. You guys must understand a fact. In any type of warfare, and that's what this is becoming, the key objective is to cause division. You pit people against people, brother against sister, families against families, religions against religions, to a boiling point. Many of you have been tricked and deceived, pushed by the rhetoric and bigotry and hypocrisy of mainstream media. What is mainstream media? Each media outlet has a tie to a receives political funding from donors, and they only support and bring stories that have that political ideology. But at the same token, we have citizen journalists. Many of the citizen journalists will not see past their own beliefs. They will not recognize, as soon as they find out somebody has a different ideology, a different belief system, they don't want nothing to do with them. They label them as, you're an occultist, you're evil, you're an elite, but you know nothing of any of the many different paths. Everybody thinks their religion is the only religion. And guys, especially to you that live in the United States, guess what? Take that philosophy, ideology, you're spitting upon the Constitution. You're disrespecting every soldier that has ever fought and still fights to this day for that Constitution, for your rights and freedoms. But hey, let's listen to what Theresa May wants to do. She wants to censor the internet. Because that's where these radicals are recruiting from. Well, let me tell you something, and I've done videos on this. Other people have done videos. I've been banned from a few sites for bringing truthful information that is documented by facts. But because I decide to speak out about that stuff, I get banned. Or my videos don't get links don't get shared out like they're supposed to, which I will still have on record. But they let these radicals continue to do that. And it's a simple fix. Start banning them and investigating them and knocking down their doors. You do it all the time to us, and we're not the problem. Oh wait, we are the problem because we're telling you truth and reminding you of your constitutions, reminding of your histories, giving you a place to go to hear real things. But no, they want to censor it. And the day that happens is the day you lose any freedoms or rights in this country, in the United States, or any country that supports those very same freedoms. It'll be taken away from you. So, I would be thinking about how they keep causing us to be so divided. I'd start asking questions like that. I would start reevaluating ourselves. They claim to be patriots, they claim to be constitutionalists, they claim to believe in freedom, but in truth, they just become part of the problem. You fall into this ideology that no other religion, no other belief or idea is yours. You're no longer free thinkers, you're slaves. You're no longer open-minded no matter how much you claim because you can't hear another person's opinion or ideas. That's why I went live tonight. Given anybody wants to come on. Chat, you want to ask questions, ask. You want to share your opinion, share. But, nobody wants to do that. That is why I started unfollowing a bunch of people. People that I thought, were so-called truthers. They don't give a damn. They rather chase conspiracy theories or stick to the status quo. I will not ever see another one of my videos monetized on YouTube. My videos are no longer at what and I stated. I didn't say it at the beginning of this one, but my videos are not advertiser friendly. I don't want your money. It's blood money. You're oppressing my constitutional rights. And many of you, Snoop said it wasn't fake news. Go investigate Snoop. You'll find that they're not credible to be even saying what is real news and what is fake news. Just like I've told people that I know do investigating reports, don't broadcast your information, don't come out until you have all your evidence gathered. For every anonymous person that you have those that will speak up and not be anonymous. That protects you. That way when you bring it, it can be undisputed. And if somebody does find a discrepancy, you can lay out all the facts and all your findings. Then, if it turns out you were deceived, you can hold the people that gave you that information. You can discredit them so they can never give that be trusted with giving information like that again. Sometimes we're too quick to jump to things. Oh, it's trending. You know what? You know what still should be trending? On Twitter and Facebook. What happened yesterday? This should not leave the public eye. We should not forget. for many of you, sadly, it's going to take what I experienced last night. A good reality check and slap in the face with it before you realize the cold hard truths. Many of you just think life's a game. Not a game. Not when we got chaos and division in every country and every quarter of this world. You know, we have activists, oh, feed the hungry overseas. What about our homeless and poor here in the United States? What about the hungry and poor living in the favelas in Brazil? You know, many of you don't even know how they treat the homeless when they get out of control in Brazil. They hire private contractors. Use your imagination from there. At least Brazil, the people have gotten smart enough to start holding these corrupt politicians responsible, taking them to court. Just like what should have happened here about 4 or 5 years ago on that insider trading that Congress got. Many of you have probably forgotten about that, how there was a junior senator or a junior congressman that brought a bill, before this even happened, brought a bill that would have stopped it from them from ever being able to use that. They told him, we're not going to vote on it, get out. You know, this is actually something mainstream media finally got right. Well, it kind of got washed under, nobody wanted to report it. But then, what did Congress do? They got caught. So, they took dude who had originally had the policy, brought it, passed it, amended a few things to protect their asses. No, they hold an office of trust. You violated their trust. They should be removed and charged with insider trading just like me or you would have been. Oh, global warming, climate change. But yet, does anybody remember Nancy Pelosi after 2008? At your taxpayers' dollars flying around all over the place? Huh. Last time I checked. And I don't believe in climate change or global warming. I know it's a crock of shit. There's plenty of scientists to back that fact. The core samples they taken in the North and South Pole show it's a natural process. But, you know, believe what you want. Because for every scientist that says that, you have 30 more that will say otherwise. But, you know, I remember science. I studied science. I used to love science. And, hey, I know a truthful report when I see it from a false one. But, guys, the issue is, this is what they wanted. You know, they want everybody divided. Well, you know, and most people, oh, that's conspiracy theory. Well, every conspiracy theory has a little bit of truth. Like I've always said, the best lie is told with just a fraction of a truth, just a tad bit of truth. It starts to get people going down the rabbit hole. Or they hear the truth and they believe everything else that came afterwards. That's how they trick you and deceive you. While you're caught up in that, something else, the real important stuff is happening elsewhere. You know, the sad thing is many people will go back to normal like nothing ever happened. Why? Because it's not being talked about in the media. It's not trending on Twitter or Facebook. The reality of it is, I know my niece will be traumatized for most of her life for the things she witnessed. The fact that she couldn't find shelter, called Uber, couldn't get it, and Uber wouldn't show up. Tried to go into businesses, community businesses that were open. They shut their doors. Ran to the subways are empty. No subways running. By the time she got home, in tears and shaking, took most of the night to calm her down. And by the way, guys, that's almost verbatim, word for word, what my cousin told her mother. Horrified. The problem is, guys, most people nowadays, they're living in fear. I should not be fearful to go visit a beautiful country like the UK, Brazil, France, Germany, Sweden, Japan, the Philippines. When we succumb to fear, you know what? Fuck all that. Winston Churchill said it best. We have to fear fear itself. When we succumb to fear, they win. When we're scared to go to the market, they win. When we're scared to stand up to our politicians who are saying this is the norm, they've won. When we're too scared to demand that our police are armed, need to be armed, they have won. We live in a society where our police must be armed. I don't care what you guys believe on that. That's just a simple fact. Billy Clubs don't cut it. Then it brings me back to the question, how are they getting their guns so easy when the UK people can't? This is not the only country. I mean, every country is facing a danger at their community's doorstep, and they don't know how to react. They don't know who to believe. News is reporting this, but they're seeing something completely different unfold right before their eyes. I'm actually done good this far. I think I've only dropped the F word once. I'm trying to not do that, but I'm also not PC either. I'm not politically correct, never will be. I believe in my freedoms, my liberties. I have the right to say what I want, except for I want this message to be heard, so I'm trying to keep it civil, respectful, because I want people to come in and also voice their opinions. And by no means do you have to be politically correct on any of my channels, on your comments or in the chat. All you have to do is respect. Don't bash someone because their beliefs are different. Don't bash them because their political views are different. Respect them. Have an open mind. Be free thinkers. Listen. Learn. Conversate. Share your ideas back and forth. That's how we learn. That's how the truth comes out. And for those that don't know, welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. You know, quit judging people by their race, color, creed, religion, by their political views. For one, you shouldn't have a political stance, one way or the other. Shouldn't be Republican, shouldn't be Democrat, shouldn't be a nationalist, loyalist, independent. You should want the politician as it states in our very own Constitution, we the people for the people. And it was clearly covered in the Congressional Congress, the Constitutional Congressional Congress 1 and 2, how it should be and what it shouldn't become. Stop allowing history to be taken out of our schools. If they want to take our history out of our schools, they want to say, because, oh, that puts a blemish on our country and what it stands for today. No. What it stands for today, should stand for today, is why we fought to have these beliefs and ideas, these freedoms. Why our soldiers bleed and die and go to war to protect our rights. And no, and we shouldn't, just because if something happens in another country, we should be standing up with them. I know the travel ban thing is a touchy subject because, yes, there are Muslims that are being oppressed that's trying to get away from that. But our vetting, they've gotten so smart, they slip right through our vetting systems now. Our own Pentagon said we cannot vet these people. You know? But does a travel ban help? Yes. Stopping these refugees from flooding your country helps because that's another form of warfare. Cause oppression, force mass exodus, flood another country. What does that do? It burdens the country financially, economically. It takes food away. Because most countries are designed to only have so many people in them. It takes jobs from people. When you have an influx on such a great scale like it's been, countries are not prepared to take such influx in. No country is, not even the United States, not even China. When you start causing an influx, you make it harder for people to be vetted. You allow radicals to slide in. Sometimes maybe we do need to restart. Remember our history on war, study the strategies and many paradigms of warfare and how they are employed and used. Then you'll start understanding they haven't changed, we just give them new names. When we start going to electing our Congress, our senators, our parliaments, make sure that the people you are going to vote for represent you, the people, not them. And if they don't, and if they lie about it, hold them accountable because they're holding an office of trust. You put them in there, you can take them out. Here in the United States, here's what most people here don't know. Here in the United States, you only need 100 signatures to go to court and have a law amended removed. 100 signatures. I mean, you've got to prove it and prove that it's unconstitutional or a wrong has been committed or a violation of trust of office has been committed. But 100 signatures. It might be more for certain things. I know on laws it's 100. Why? Because I'm getting ready to do it myself here in Ohio. Get 100 signatures and go after the DMV for the proof of insurance, the random selection of proof of insurance, which turns out is one big money scheme, money scam. And don't get caught up in the fact, and don't get caught up in knowing laws, and they pass laws every day. It's hard to stay on top, almost impossible. That's why they pass laws every day. Because a judge will tell you there is no such thing as ignorance to the law. It is your duty, your job as a citizen to know the law. Which is another catch-22. Because you practically have to have a law degree, but no, you don't. A common person can argue a case. A law is black and white, but it's also a two-edged sword. It is how you interpret and sell the interpretation to your peers. You get them to believe your interpretation is right where the prosecuting interpretation is wrong. It is in the end, it's all word manipulation. How you manipulate the word, how you see it, and how you sell it. I don't agree with it, and that's the way it is. You know? Just like I don't friends from Facebook because even the posts. I'm tired of seeing the ones that stood by my side supporting these causes, but yet want to say that it's unconstitutional to have a travel ban to protect our people in this country, when the very fact is you can't go live in any of those 7 countries. Being a homosexual, being a woman, being of any other faith other than what they claim as a radical faith, which is not a faith. Don't judge religion, study them. Then you'll know that there's actually more than one interpretation of Islam. More than one interpretation of Christianity, as we all know. Methodist, Pentecostal, Baptist, Southern Baptist, First Baptist, Jehovah's Witness. I don't know about Mormons. I think they claim to be Christians as well. Catholicism, Judaism. Just like you have Wicca, Druidism, Satanism, very own different organizations at different sects. You must understand that every religion is going to have their zealots. They're going to have their bad apples, but that don't make the rest of them bad. That's why I state, don't judge the person by their faith or religion or their politics. Judge them how they treat others, how they act, and represent themselves. Who they are today, not who they were in the past. We all make mistakes. Some not as major as others, but we've all made them. That's part of being human. That's part of having free will. We're always going to make mistakes. But some people do learn from those mistakes and never repeat them and become role model citizens. That is the problem today. We judge everybody because their belief systems are different than ours. Open-minded and free thinkers. Because in the end, none of us know who's right or wrong until we die. Faith is a beautiful thing. Faith can do many things, but know this. Every form of religion has their faith. And there's truths in them. Just like every religion has their bad apples. You know, I joke around and say I was born in the wrong era. I should have been born in the Grecian time period when the great philosophers roamed, where freedom of ideas and philosophy was thriving. And many of you don't even know what the word pagan, heathen, and heretic even really means. Don't even know its true origins. It means free thinkers. Common folk. Peasants and farmers. Why free thinkers opposed the ideology of Christianity or Catholicism. It was Catholicism that coined those terms, by the way. And I'm not saying Catholicism is bad. I'm not saying any religion is bad. Only those that preach a philosophy and ideology of hate is bad. You know, we shouldn't just know the history of our country. We should know the history of other countries. Why? By knowing these things, that allows you to understand how history has played out, how some things have been used against you. It also allows you to be free thinkers, and like when you hear bullshit on mainstream news, you can call it that, and you know it's a lie. You can spot the truth and the deceptions. And it's not easy, guys. We don't have time to be doing all that research, but then again, you turn off the news. It gives a little bit of time to do some research, doesn't it? If you think for yourselves. Coming together as a community, not as individuals. Standing up for wrong as a whole. But guys, I'm a firm believer. Love is a beautiful thing. Love is also the strongest weapon we possess. Yeah. Remember the old saying, kill a person with kindness? Just do that out of love. Why? Because you're not actually a person. You're killing the hate. You're countering it with love. And some of you know where else that leads. And you know the true power of love. And how to use it as a tool. Just like on a stupid every Wayne, at least if we're finally not talking about it, I probably shouldn't talk about it so it doesn't pop back up, but I'm going to because it is a problem. Oh, We need to curse our president. We need to do spells and rituals again to remove our president. No, your spells should be of enlightenment, of healing. If you think there's something wrong with him, of giving him guidance, spiritual guidance, should not be no curses. All those are doing is backfiring on you guys. I think you have kind of figured that out since I haven't seen it being popping up as much. I think you figured that one out. He's well protected. But, like I said, not for this channel. And it shouldn't be that way either, guys. There's many things you can learn and understand how some of these things are happening that you've been subject to that you don't even realize it. That's why it's important to understand and know other beliefs and practices. Those who are open-minded, those who are awake, they understand these things. They studied some of these things and they know how to counter it, not allow it to trigger them. I want to jump back to Antifa and Black Lives Matter real quick. All lives matter for one. There should be no differentiating of color. We all bleed the same. Just another form, another tool that they use to divide us. Tension. We live in a day and age where racism should not even be an issue. It's like equality should not be an issue. Everybody should be treated equal. And only accountable for how they present themselves by their actions and deeds. You know, just like I'm a firm believer, there's common knowledge out there who's supporting these guys, corporations supporting these people to spread their agenda, in case you haven't noticed by now, look at the world around you. The world is division and chaos. That's the ideology that these people are pushing for what means, well, I think most of you know. I don't need to get into it. And if you don't, go educate yourself. Don't call something conspiracy theory. Prove it to be conspiracy theory. Or prove it to be a fact. 98% of you spend more time on your cell phones, iPads, computers than you do anything else. Listening to videos, watching kittens. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with kittens. They're fun, funny, cuddly. I prefer dogs, but hey. And it's good to support causes, good to be activists when it's done in a constructive way. You got a message you want to share? Away from protesting. Let's do some community events, like cleaning up a community, mowing some lawns, helping paint paint the houses in the community. Spread your word that way. Your actions speak louder than your words. Sometimes your silence speaks loud. Most of your time, your silence speaks volumes. There's great power in silence as well. People will start seeing you. They'll start talking to you. Then you start sharing your ideas. Because now they're seeing you as somebody that's giving back to a community, to their communities, helping out. We've gotten away from that. A lot in every country has gotten away from that. They don't want us doing that. They'd rather have you working 2 jobs and still not being able to, at the end of the week, not being able to either pay a bill or put food on your table or buy medicine. Which, starting this week, I will officially have Sons and Daughters of Liberty up here on YouTube as a channel. What I've discussed tonight is just the tip of the iceberg of the things me and community members will be discussing. We'll be bringing you prepping ideas, do-it-yourself projects, talking about bartering, talking about addictions, how to use our natural resources, how to use the things around the environment around you. But we're also going to be covering constitutional freedoms and liberty aspects. We're going to discuss various ideas and philosophies within the prepper communities. Bartering. I'm also going to be doing some low-budget prepping stuff. Because most of us can't afford to be preppers or to be homesteaders. But yet, I'm going to tell you it can be done. I'm doing it right now. You know, most of us, especially those who've been around for a while, and our families have been around, how much junk has accumulated that isn't really junk that can be refurbished, reused for other things. You see a spare tire on the road, you know it can be turned into a cushioned seat or used as a plant, used as a garden planter, and various other things, old skills that has been forgotten, that not taught. You know, people get the misconception of prepping. We should be prepared. We can't be prepared for everything. But being prepared, being aware, it teaches us to be aware of our surroundings as well. Aware of our environments. Like I said, I got a few people that wants to do this. Because, you know, some of us are more solitary in nature. Others are believe in community. But we're also going to talk about things you guys don't hear talk about. It's like, how many of you know that you can use 2 batteries to start a fire? Dead batteries. You can still have charge in them. Like I said, there's stuff we leave laying around all the time that can still be refurbished and reused for things. But we also need to understand that our history, and we're going to cover history on here as well, history of the Constitution, history of civil liberties, civil rights, equality. And the things that are happening in the world around us. Issues like what happened in the UK, what's happening in Sweden and Germany. How many of you know that Rock on the Range, or it's Rock, same thing, you know what I'm talking about, in Germany, the very first day, the crowd was evacuated because suspected something was going to happen, and they canceled the first day event. We should not live in fear of no one. We should be coming together as brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of liberty, and taking a stand and demanding action, demanding justice, demanding an end to this, holding people accountable that allow these things to happen. We shouldn't be arguing and fighting amongst ourselves. No, we're not always going to agree. We're not supposed to. That's the beautiful thing. Why? When 2 people don't agree, but yet they can talk about it in a non-violent way, because things will get heated. They always do. But we learn from those from talking. An idea will spring up that neither one of us thought of, but because we were discussing it, that idea came about. It manifested. And it was the answer to the problem that we couldn't see. And it doesn't matter, like I said, where you come from, what your background is, what you did in your past, what religion you believe in. We're all human beings. We all bleed the same. And we all have our views and opinions. We should respect them. And I wish you guys would actually joined in. I might, like I said, I will be sharing the links, and I will do a video with the link to this channel. It'll go live probably, I'll bring it live Thursday night. I'll bring Sons and Daughters of Liberty fully live. Then I can once more use this channel as my backup channel. You know, there's many topics I want to discuss. I'm trying to awaken you to the dangers that our community oversteps. Some of the problems, most of our problems right now is because we're so divided we can't even get along long enough to see what's really going on. We got to fix that problem first before we can start fixing the real issues. And we can't do that while we're divided. We must mend our wounds, mend our disagreements, and realize that we've, in a sense, not of our doing, none of us chose to be divided. None of us chose to be slaves to systems. We were deceived into it, tricked into it, and forced into it. But we do have to put an end to the hatred, the hate speeches, the hate. We need to stand up for our freedoms, for other people's freedoms. Not just your beliefs and ideas, but others as well. You know, life will bring us ups and downs, will bring us challenges. Face those challenges head on. Have no fear when you face them, because good or bad, you're going to take something from that experience. You're going to learn and become a better person. We want to change the things that are about us. We need to start changing ourselves. Change will start with each and every one of us before we can start changing what's going on around this world. And I'm going to end the stream on that note. Thank you for those that will watch this and that have tuned in. Thank you for those that have listened. Thank you for those that have followed me, supported this channel. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I look forward to continue to bring you messages like this, being a voice of reason, of understanding. I've lived a hard life. I've experienced a lot, more than I probably should have. through those experiences, I'm going to share them with you. With only one goal and one intention, to better ourselves. To, to no longer live in oppression, no longer live as slaves, but as free thinkers. True free thinkers and true open-minded individuals. I don't care what your walk is, what your path is down. I'm only going to treat you the way you treat me and others. You treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. I see that you're, if I see you're being attacked in one of my chats and you didn't disrespect anybody, I will come to your aid. But if you disrespect somebody, I won't tolerate that, nor will I tolerate any form of hate in my chats or in my comments. Remember, we the people for the people. It starts with us. We make the changes. When we start making the changes that will radiate to others and reflect to others, others will see it and realize things about themselves and start making the changes. We got to lead by example, by our actions and deeds. My heart's thoughts and prayers go out to all that have been victims of these terrorist attacks. Just not in the UK, but in Sweden, Germany, France, the Philippines, and to all those that are living in chaos and turmoil and division, my heart, thoughts, and prayers go to you. Guys, it is the end. There's always light. You just got to get through the darkness. And the truth is, you have to walk through the darkness before you can get to the light. Then you realize that that experience made you a better person. And those that you interact with will be made better people because of your experiences. You guys be safe. You have a good night and have a safe work week. Think about the things I said. I will see you next time.